Welcome back to episode 3 of Shadows of New York. Guess it's time to call it a night. I'm home. Finally. You doing alright? She's pretty. Fine, I guess. Why aren't you asleep? I figured it's finally time for me to become more of a night owl. We've talked about making our schedules sync better. Watch your vitamin D. I'd kill to have your skin. It would be a shame to waste it. Shouldn't have smoked so much before you get bitten, sweetheart. So they are in a fully aware relationship, let's just say. Dakota knows that our dear La Sombra vampire is a vampire, indeed. Should have shared your skincare routine with me back when I was still breathing. I can't just be going around sharing my one secret weapon. It's top secret stuff. MK Ultra level Jeffrey Epstein's current whereabouts level. I'd have to kill you if I told you. Just go ahead and off me anyway. It would be a mercy kill, honestly. Don't talk like that. Anything you want to share? Never mind. I feel like a little bit more self-conscious than usual tonight. Don't. You want me to do your makeup before you go to sleep? No need. No need? Weren't you supposed to have some sort of big party tomorrow night? I was involved in the backstage stuff. What makes you think I was invited? Also, like, this is awesome. As I said before, I feel in the first episode of the series, La Sombra vampires usually make ghouls who can make their makeup or do something with their hair, make them look better, maybe paint them if they're very, very much into seeing themselves again. Yeah, I feel like a makeup ghoul is a super useful thing because you cannot see your reflection in the mirror very easily. You cannot just, do your makeup yourself anymore unless you have some superpowers which enable you to do that without any reflection. Because you're the coolest, cutest, and the most all-around amazing person I know. They'd be insane not to put you on the shortlist. Believe it or not, but most vampires are pretty insane. Interdimensional psychic vampire level insane, because that's how crazy they'd have to be to ignore you like this. So cute. Yeah, I would say so. Fuck 'em then. A big bunch of posh dicks. They hate you because they ain't you, but they'll see. Jesus, how do you do it? Do what? You always assault me with so much of this weird, stupid positivity that I can't react to it without completely shifting my mental attitude. How do you do it? No, the answer is easy. You remember how I told you we have this spiritual connection? I can sense what you feel and want. You can sense what I feel too, if you really focus. Yeah, I think I called it a big load of bullshit. Said the girl who talks to ghosts. But watch this, Agent Scully. I sensed you feeling down and I realized what you really need to end this night. She points to one of her drawers. It's the one where she keeps her supply of... ketamine? Come on. What? No, wrong drawer. We're not meeting demons, we're meeting angels. MDMA? Ding, ding, ding. Took it half an hour ago. Perfect timing, thanks to our spiritual connection. Ready to fly away? The mood isn't right. I need music. Got a special SoundCloud playlist ready to go, prepared specifically to uplift one Yulia Sovinsky. Just give me a sign and I'll press play. This game was not sponsored by SoundCloud. Jesus, you're impossible. That's why you love me, I hope. I give up. Come here, let me have a taste of you. It is still, taking blood from someone else to sustain yourself, and that someone else is someone you love, which makes it a very weird kind of a power balance in the relationship. Not very healthy, I would assume. But, is that better or worse than assaulting someone on the street to get their blood? I don't know. It's difficult moral pick in here. Maybe this one time the high won't end. And yeah, I mean, Dakota is a sweetheart. To be able to still enjoy the drugs, we do need to drink it from the blood of those who take them. We cannot actually take them ourselves as vampires. There's just no way that they will work on us. So, thanks, Dakota. I'll leave Dakota's apartment as soon as the sun goes down. Yesterday was fun, but I always feel a little nervous when I spend too much time with her. She never lets me escape from being the center of attention. It's exhausting. At least, the less time I spend with her, the happier she is to see me again. It's a tricky act to balance, though. I'm grateful for her presence in my life, but never mind. What's on my list of course tonight? Oh yeah, only one thing. Don't show up for the party at the art hall. Well, this is the rare night when I don't have anything to do. Might as well take a trip around the city and see what's up. Maybe fix myself a little drink while I'm at it. Haven't you just drunk, woman? What do we have in there? I need to break out of this mood. Go somewhere I never visit. See something I tend to avoid. Think, Julia. What is the least you place to go and live a little? In life, I wasn't especially fond of parks. Now, as one of the kindred, I can finally see the appeal. Past midnight, they become a surprisingly good hunting ground. Let's try it out. Van Cortlandt Park. Funny. I never knew how much I could miss nature until I got stuck in this urban jungle for good. The sight of familiar green surroundings slowly floods my mind with disjointed images, back from when I just moved to New York City and was still in awe of it. Let's reminisce for a moment. I closed my eyes, allowing myself to drown in the stream of memories. An elderly couple holding their frail hands in the warmth of the morning sun. An evening gathering of self-important academics, fervently discussing the discoveries no one but them cares about. A bunch of kids chasing an imaginary treasure, joyful, restless, and oblivious to the dangers of the summer's heatwave. A young, perfectly chiseled jogger running along the golf course. Golf? I think it's golf course. But a jogger running along the golf course? I guess it's possible. 100% graceful in every move that he makes. Mesmerizing. My eyes snap open and the spinning kaleidoscope of images fades away. I collect my focus and remember what brought me here. A burning heat reaches my fingers. I flicker the bat away and immediately take another cigarette out of a pack before proceeding through the parade ground. The faint sound of shoes tapping against the concrete interrupts my contemplative mood. Just what I was hoping for. I hurriedly finish my smoke and take a step back, blending in with the shadows. A lonely jogger runs into and out of the pale lamplight, completely lost in his thoughts. All dressed up in top-shelf sportswear, wiry muscles clearly visible under skin-tight outfits. And his exposed neck. I get the urge back under control for now. Back when I was alive, I'd rely on the breathe in, breathe out exercise. However, nowadays, breathing costs a premium. Just as I regain my composure, the jogger stops by the flickering lantern and takes a glance at his smartphone. His body tenses noticeably as he answers a call. Moving in on him right now would, of course, inevitably involve the caller hearing the assault happen. No reason to make things complicated. I'll take my time. I cautiously get closer and closer until I can finally overhear his words. Oh, he's kinda cute. She'd expect the bad news, I know, but Jesus, Tasha, he's 9! He struggles and fails to sound calm. No, she doesn't know yet. I'll tell her when I get home. I need to think this through. I notice a lanyard half stuck into a pocket with the Bronx Times logo slapped on it. They say there's no cure. Yeah, I heard something about experimental treatments in Rochester, but I can't make this decision on my own. I connect the dots, realize what he's talking about, and feel like I was punched straight in the guts. Listen, I need to clear my head. Tell Jonah I need a couple of days off. If he starts throwing a fit again, tell him he'd better learn to write the fucking column on his own. No, seriously. Thanks, Tasha. Yes, I'll give him a kiss from his auntie. The moment he hangs up, his composure goes out of the window. He basically stumbles to the nearest bench. God damn it. I feel bad for the guy. His faint sobbing stops me in my tracks. I lose my appetite. Hitting on this guy would feel nauseating anyway. Just when I convince myself that I should let basic decency take the reins, he notices me creeping around. He gives me a startled glance, eyes damp, looking absurdly miserable, busted. So what do you say to a guy you were just about to assault in a dark park, but thought better of it? I just wanted to say, it's going to be alright. He looks at me. His gaze is kind, but tired and empty. Look, I appreciate your intentions, but do you really believe that? Weigh my words. No, I don't. Then why would you say that? Who do you think you are? You have no fucking idea what I'm going through? He gets more and more aggravated with every word. I cut him off. How can you be so sure? That snaps him back into focus. You're right. I can't know exactly what you're feeling. I'm no mind reader. But it's clear that we have something in common. We both got fucked over with no say in the matter. He turns away and stays silent. Glad he didn't ask about how I got fucked over. Not exactly the same caliber of suffering. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, I got tired of hearing it too. It never gets fine unless you work your ass off. Even then, things get bearable, maybe, if you're lucky. Your son has multiple sclerosis, yeah? Oh my god, that's fucking horrible. Damn! He doesn't deserve it, but that's reality being its usual fucked up self. Imagine how afraid he must be. Your fear is infinitely more beatable, so you need to pull yourself together. Lead him by example. The guy peers at me with unease, but I notice a tiny spark of confidence kindling in his eye. Unless there's some sort of a miracle, there's nothing I can do to help my boy. Bullshit. You still have time to just be together. Make it into the best life he never had. Giving people advice I myself wouldn't be able to listen to. Hell yeah, classic me. Well, guessing what people want or need to hear was an essential skill back at Outstar. Anyway, that's all from me. You're right, I've overstepped my boundaries, but I wish both of you the best of luck. Sincerely. Have a good night. I notice a change in his melancholic face. He stands up with his back straight, like he has regained some of his lost resolve. He nods and starts running straight back to his problems. I start walking in the opposite direction. Even though I might regret the show of abstinence later, what little remains of my humanity inside my shriveled heart encourages me to think that letting this guy go was the right thing to do. I need a change of scenery to break out of this mood, and an opportunity to actually get some juice into my veins, relatively guilt-free if possible. Guess that's enough human interaction for one night. Once more to Big Pete Burger, into the last fast food joint I'll ever know. I'll have the usual. The first time I used this line, I wasn't sure it would work, but I've gained enough notoriety among the staff that it does. The cashier just smiles, nods, and charges me for one black coffee. I can imagine them instructing the newbies. See that emo weirdo? Here's how it is. She always orders a single cup of coffee, nothing else, and she doesn't even drink it. Probably wouldn't take a single sip even if I was still alive. The staff is just trash, but at least being a buying customer gives me an excuse to sit here for as long as I want to. I wonder if this is one of the main ways for Second Inquisition to find vampires in the city area. Remember Bloodlines 1 when you could go to the diner and ask the grand lady that was standing behind the counter about the weird girl And she immediately thought about the girl that was sitting there all night with a cup of water in front of her, and she didn't even drink a sip. Well, easy way of finding vampires. I wish I could use one of those self-order kiosks to minimize human contact, but touch screens don't exactly like me. Not too long ago, I managed to blue screen 10 out of them in a row. Oopsie! Oh well, the good news is, it doesn't look like I have anything to do tonight. The bad news is, it's because every kindred who matters is having fun at the art hall right now. Aww, such a bullied school student. It's not like I wanted to go. I just wanted them to invite me so that I could tell them to fuck off. Of course you did, you little goth prom lady. I scanned the entrance to the restaurant through my peripheral vision. Am I naively hoping someone will come and save me from misery? Guess I am. Please, please, please let somebody come and get me out of here. A prince? A princess? A knight in shining armor, a fairy godmother, a passing huntsman, Big Bad Wolf, Mila Jovovich, Vin Diesel, Azalea Banks. Why is... I mean, I love her music, but why is she on the list for saving you from a freaking fast food joint? Hell, I'll take anyone at this point. Is that why? Oh, damn. She has lovely music, but you know, yeah. Never mind. Visualizing, tapping the power of my subconscious, materializing my dreams. Nope, doesn't work. Looks like you're eternally stuck being a nobody in the corner of a shitty restaurant. Sweet little Julia. Unlife, Julia. Why am I doing Julia today? Doing Julia. Why did they just say that? You know what I mean. Unlife's a bitch, and then you don't even die. I pretend to read a book about psychoanalysis I stole from Dakota for a while. Having found it too mentally taxing, I switched to pretending to read a Stephen King book, which I also stole from Dakota. After the terrifying realization that it was written in the last 15 years and therefore contains no amusing dragged-out rants about troubled childhood in Maine, I switched back to looking at the entrance. I like those little references. The party must be so stuffy and trashy and boring. At this point, I'm no longer looking for salvation. I'm asking for amusement. We need to break into the party, Julia. You know you want it. There is a little bruja inside of you. You might be La Sombra, but you're not going to hide a little bruja from me. But it doesn't come. I like it as boring bozos in normcore clothes. They walk in, take care of their business without doing anything to amuse me, and walk out. A few minutes after I lose all hope, a tall, elegant man marches in with a spring in his step. He looks around, impatient, irritated. Then he notices the person he was looking for and reacts with visible relief. He gallantly approaches my table, looks at me and says, "That's my boy. There you are. No, that's curious. You shouldn't be here." Why can I not pick Azalea Banks right now? I'm mad at this game. What's up? Are you here to be my fairy godmother? Will you give me a wonderful dress and drive me to the party? Oh, but it's past midnight already. My damned attempt at self-amusement doesn't faze him at all. Doesn't even roll his eyes, just stares at me blankly. Grab your stuff and get in my car. Now. He still leaves no room for doubt. Something bad has happened. I want to ask what, but whenever he's in his I will simply ignore all the damn shit you say mode, I know better than to ask questions. Instead, I silently follow him to the exit. He guides me to his car. I just hope I haven't messed anything up again. I don't think I have, but have I? Kadir's car. Kadir, look at the road, not at me. I know I'm pretty. I know that we have a connection, but just look at the road, baby, because we don't want to crash. As usual, he gave me the back seat. He's always uneasy when the passenger seat is taken. Doesn't want anyone to limit his peripheral vision, he says. Normally I'd catch him observing me in the rear view mirror, but this time he's watching the streets. More tense than usual. Something must have caught him off guard. I've got my seatbelt on, my popcorn ready. What's up? The awkward silence feels like it will last forever. Eventually he finds the right words and speaks up. 6 weeks ago, the prince told me to parley with the anarchs in the docks. Remember? Let's see what she thinks about the anarchs. The loosely organized sect of political outsiders opposing the modern Camarilla-dominated paradigm. They seek to end the tyranny of the elders, but from what I've seen in New York City, they've just replaced one hierarchy with another, more loosely defined. Understandable. Yeah, and you made me tag along so that I could learn something about politics. As it turned out, politics meant something awfully similar to watching my drunken family shout at each other at a wedding party. There was this man who didn't need to shout to make my blood boil, the meanest one in the room, their leader. White hair, a monocle, musty clothes. I love the fact that he hates him. With this fucking Polak cunt. Wow, CALLIHAN. I mean, if you didn't give me enough reasons to hate you, now you're just stepping way over the line, dude. Scrooge McDuck, yeah, how could I forget? A lot of panache, old-timey bravado and gendered insults flanked my way. What was his name? Something British, made me think of Hollywood? CALLIHAN? Baron CALLIHAN. Douglas Boss CALLIHAN. Let me see. A powerful anarch, basically a warlord. Barons are often up-jumped leaks who have strong-armed their way into control over a building or even a city block. In New York City, especially in Douglas CALLIHAN's case, it often seems suspiciously like a form of traditional governance to me. Right, it's 2020, but the man's opinions and ideas were stuck in 1920. Weren't the anarchs supposed to be the progressive option? I never understood why they put up with him. He has his ways of predicting which way the wind will blow. Anytime Camarilla or the SI hit the anarchs, it was the factions opposed to him that were hurt. The luckiest bastard in the world. Thought you didn't have belief in luck. I don't, but it sure looks like his luck has finally run out tonight. Huh. Wait, don't tell me. He's dead? Deader than that? I'm 99% sure the bastard met his final death. How do you know? We've got trustworthy sources in the Anarch Inner Circus. Looks like all hell is about to break loose. There's an emergency meeting at the art hall. Jesus, and you're bringing me with you? Why? Because you were on the way. Because I could. Because I should. You might not be important to the members of the court, but you're still an asset to the sect. Symbolically, at least. I can justify sneaking you into the party claiming it's for your own protection. My sweet fairy godmother in a luxury carriage. Wait a minute though, the party is still happening? I called the prince, told her the best course of action is stopping it, and started listing security protocols I have prepared for these sorts of situations. She interrupted me halfway through and told me we will discuss the subject face to face. Doesn't sound like she was interested. The party is that important, huh? Politics. Politics is that important. I don't know if he's trying to convince me or himself. Once again, politics sound an awful lot like a bunch of party-loving assholes shouting at each other. Don't worry, this isn't the kind of, should I call it, governing issue the likes of you and I tend to deal with. And how would you describe the governing issues we tend to deal with? Shoveling ourselves out of shit. As usual, he seems a little embarrassed for cussing. Or for being too honest. Either way, it's cute. Yulia is super relatable. I can totally get into her head and feel the same way. No argument here. And that's where the conversation ends. We stay silent as the car rides off toward the unknown. I also very much love the little energy in between them. I feel like it's not like something I would ship per se. Like they are not a good couple for a relationship, but for like this snarky friendship, that would be perfect. I'm not a New York City baron. The Baron of New York City, if you please. Once more, a memory of an old douchebag who thought he could rule the world crosses my mind. Well, it looks like the world has left him behind. Sayonara, asshole. Do widzenia, asshole. There we go. That's the Polish version. And here I am, at the only place I didn't expect to visit tonight. The art hall. Guessing by the sounds, the inside seems lively. Even if they know it's an emergency, they simply don't care. What are you standing around for? You still need an invitation? No idea, do I? I think the bouncer will let you in. There's a bouncer? Yes, and he's standing right in front of you. Just start walking, whelp. And here I am, among partying elites. It's as stuffy and boring as I expected, but hey, at least it's exclusive. The title Panhard came up with these yearly gatherings is called Celebrations of Power, an invitation to examine the relationship between our undead bodies and the spaces they inhabit. The week-long event is packaged as sort of a performance art piece, meant to make the kindred who are involved celebrate their potential instead of despairing at their monstrous nature. We need to counter-program the omnipresent images of tragic vampirism with images that remind us we have inherited the earth and are now free to remake it in our image, is the way our prince puts it. Very Sabbat of her. To this end, she organizes a series of exhibits, concerts, fireworks, parties, business meetings, etc., etc. Of course, the parties and business meetings are the most important. My prince. Nice outfit. Kadir, finally! A saint with angelic wings, a holy patron of New York City. I took a good look around. Half the figures here are dressed like they're attending a masked ball. The other half are religious figures, either demonic or saintly. So that's usually how vampires dress for Elysium, particularly for, the meetings where they're only kindred, they just let loose. They go all overboard with very weird clothing. I have to admit, I don't fully understand the theme here. I know Panhard based it on psychomagic, a sort of shamanic psychotherapy using the power of art. Simply put, it's holy mass and unholy mass in equal measures. A set of rituals meant to make the participants wholeheartedly accept they're both the worst and the best this earth has to offer. Put on this mask at the very least. You're standing out. Aww! Oh, look at this tiger boy. It's not a tiger. It's like a goat. But also a... What the hell is this? It has horns, but it looks like a lion. I don't know. I heard the aesthetic basis for these parties is the black mass in the film Eyes Wide Shut. Something this decision means Panhard is tone deaf, but it's quite the contrary. She knows the Anarchs are constantly looking for ways to undermine her through art and rhetoric that point out glaring contradictions in her theoretically benevolent rule. But instead of denying and suppressing aesthetics designed to criticize the allies, she embraces them. Instead of risking a Streisand effect, she effectively defangs the opposition. The resistance becomes a part of the system, and both the Camarilla and the Anarchs get the same message. Don't think of it as a pathology. Think of it as the new normal. I'll collect the key advisors. You look very cute, Kadir. They've already been told to come here. I don't think there's a need for us to hold the meeting in a particularly secluded place. We just do it over here. Are you certain? Absolutely. Wait, is that Miss Savinsky I see behind you? Good evening. I collected her on my way here because of her role as a La Sombra representative. Just say political hostage. You people have made it perfectly clear what's gonna happen with my parents back in Chicago if I go against you. I realized she might become a target and decided to hide her at the art hall. Putting all my eggs in one basket will make my job easier. I will look for a safe place for her to spend the night. Let her stay with you for now, Alasmai. Time is of the essence. I didn't notice him sneak up on us. Nice getup. Are you absolutely sure? But of course, everything we say here is going to become an open secret in a matter of minutes. Prince Panhard has already come up with the appropriate messaging. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot an elderly vampire guiding a young, fashionable human girl toward the basement, led like a lamb to the slaughter. Best not to think too deeply about what's going on underneath this place. Before everyone gets here, I'd like to secure the perimeter. Easy now, Alasmai. All of the appropriate security protocols for you are already active. Me and the prince have already pulled some strings as well. The situation is mostly under control. Mostly under control. Never let anyone sleep any easier. Alasmai, I know that as Princess Sword you're aching for blood, but you have to accept that, like most weapons known to men, you're most effective hidden in the sheath. Listen here now. Looks like a fascinating philosophical discussion in the making, but sadly I'm forced to interrupt. Prince Panhard. All of a sudden, Samira appears between the two men, her calm and collected voice completely changing the atmosphere. As expected for a self-professed protector of the peace, I forgot I'd given her an accent. I should probably do that still. Samira, I hope you're enjoying yourself. To be quite honest, I feel out of place. She nods and smiles at me, probably the signal she takes solace in not being the only person in the room who feels like a fish out of the water. Especially now, seeing as I heard this meeting is meant for those of greater stature than mine. Nonsense! We have a delicate matter to discuss, one that might require severe judgment down the road. I think you understand why I wished for a child of Hakim to be involved. Of course. What is with the expression on your face, Kadir? He quickly collects himself. Look who's joining us. The High Regent of the Chantry of the Five Boroughs, Lady Ashling? Is that like I try to remember how is this thing pronounced, and I think it's Ashling, but let's just go with Ashling. Ashling Sturbridge walks up to her group in an outfit I would have never imagined her in, pretending everything is par for the curse. That's adorable. Prince Panhard, the Sheriff, the Harpy, the Banu Hakim Primogen. Are we still waiting for someone? He's almost here. We're waiting for the Malkavian, aren't we? Shining even more brightly than usual, Ashling. I adore your outfit, Samira. Wish the prince allowed the same amount of effort for me. I, for one, I am glad she didn't. I particularly love those horns. Thank you for reminding me. I put them on at the prince's behest, but I believe she's had more than enough fun. No, not yet. Oh, well, this will do for now. But you're not off the hook yet. I paid a costly price to see you like this. Both Kadir's and the prince's voices are strained whenever they attempt humor. Their minds are obviously elsewhere, and it's not a happy place. Arturo, on the other hand, seems calm. We all celebrate our power in different ways, I suppose. Now, what is this all about? Just a moment. Over here, Addison. The Camarilla's infamous spokesman approaches, pushed towards us in a wheelchair by his servants. Helen, everyone, I still hope this is something important. What a commanding tone, seeing as Spain can't communicate normally. His servant relays his words to us instead, and his potion snobby enough to make me believe I'm listening to his master's voice. Gotta nail that. Carter won't be joining us. He gave me fair warning, he might not make it tonight. I've messaged him the details. I'll have to find time to meet him later then. Finding time, searching for lost time, I swear it's all I do nowadays, and there's never enough. I guess now you understand why I insisted that this event must last all week. So many esteemed guests, many of them from out of town, each deserving at least few hours. The figure in the wheelchair waves his hand impatiently. Yes, let's just cut to the chase now, shall we? That may be the wisest course of action, my prince. Arturo. My prince, everyone. Let me begin by stressing these important points. The situation is largely under control, the negotiations are underway, and the situation is more tense than dangerous. We are safe. Let me repeat, we are safe. And with that out of the way, there is big news. Baron CALLIHAN, de facto leader of Anarchs in New York City, met his final death in his office tonight. How did you find out? We have good friends near his office. Their intel is as accurate as it gets. We've also established a negotiation channel with the Anarchs. They gave us all the confirmation we needed. Was our court involved in his destruction? I look at her in disbelief. So does everyone else. Not that the same thought hasn't passed through my head, but to simply exclaim it like that. Oh, spare me the virtue signaling. I thought we were being transparent here. I don't give a damn if we took care of CALLIHAN or not. I just want to have a clear idea of what I'm dealing with. Yes, a clear answer. I need that too. To my knowledge, none of us present here ordered his destruction, nor did we participate in it, unless someone wants to confess. It's now or never. Of course, nobody speaks up. Arturo pretends to clear his throat. That's our official position as well. The Camarilla's ruling body had nothing to do with it, and for all intents and purposes, his honored contenders had more interest in removing him than we did. That interest is sure to manifest in one way now. His former enemies will prop him up as a martyr for the cause. Yes, which is why we sadly can't just leave the Anarchs to their own devices. As much as we'd like to avoid recognizing their sect in any way, we've offered to assist them in an official investigation. Addison Payne's wrinkled face contorts slightly. Let me just ask you one question. You do realize those curs have no respect for our traditions? Yes, I mean, some of them they do. The 6 traditions form the basis of modern kindred law. The first tradition is the Masquerade. Don't let anybody figure out you're a vampire. Considered the most important of the bunch, but it's loosely interpreted pretty often. The second is a domain. I'm too much of a nobody to own a domain, so this one doesn't apply to me. The third is progeny, basically birth control, but for vampires. No new bloodsuckers unless somebody, usually a prince, agrees to it. The fourth tradition is accounting. If I fuck up real bad, Karen should face some consequences, in theory. The fifth tradition is hospitality. In New York City, this is usually understood as don't hunt on somebody else's turf, but in a city that houses over 8 million mortals, enforcement of it, this one is pretty lax. The next one is destruction. You don't get to kill a vampire until the prince gives you the go-ahead. As sheriff, Kadir has the implicit go-ahead. We do, Addison, but as a veteran politician, you should be deeply familiar with the words controlled opposition. Yes, for now, it's impossible to fully contain the anarch threat in New York. For now, our only option is to prop up a candidate who will offer the least resistance to our future plans for the city. We extend our hand to the most promising contender, giving him a way to present himself as a diplomat, a man of reasonable compromise. The rabble falls in line, the purists grow angry and alienated. We've already contacted the best possible person in their sect. He will oversee the investigation, and it's in his best interest to show he's able to resolve the situation calmly. Is that good enough? Addison ponders the question for a while, then waves his hand again. It is. Proceed. Funny thing, nobody's paying any attention to me right now. Keep in mind, Mr. Payne, our man's people will still barely tolerate us, and the situation is volatile. The other factions within that sorry excuse for a sect might still try to escalate the conflict. I will do my best to solve the situation as fast as possible. How so? Kadir is momentarily taken aback by Arturo's question. I volunteered to coordinate the case with the Anarchs, of course. I refuse. You have more important duties to focus on. Once more, Kadir is stunned. All due respect, Prince, but if you don't consider me capable of tackling this issue and attending to my usual duties at the same time, I think you gravely underestimate me. Your penchant for working yourself to the bone is well known and appreciated by everyone in this room, Sheriff, but so is your perfectionism. If we do grant your wish and let you investigate while still fulfilling your routine obligations, can you guarantee you're going to give both these tasks your best? I can guarantee something very close to my best. Close to your best doesn't cut it, Alasmai, not when the vultures are out in force. CALLIHAN's distraction is sure to cause unrest among the Anarchs, and there's an obvious outlet for their pent-up rage. I want to make this perfectly clear. The celebrations will continue as planned, no matter what. This is why your presence here is absolutely necessary, Sheriff. We rely on your constant protection. Of course, my prince. We must be on constant vigil for a few days. Alasmai's sword must be constantly pointed at the enemies surrounding us. You little lying bastard. The timing of the Baron's distraction is impeccable. The Anarch leaders are sure to point at us and claim we're shamelessly celebrating his end. Does anybody believe it's just a coincidence? Murders are messy, almost as messy as politics. It's impossible to reliably predict the outcome of any violent action. I think it'd be wise for us to brace for a lot of unfortunate coincidences, Aisling. In any case, the rabble can't get the impression that their power struggles are of great concern to us, but they also can think we have something to hide, which brings me to my point. We do need a symbolic gesture, one displaying expertly measured intensity. My best bet is humble diplomatic envoy, a low-level official acting as an investigator of sorts. I implore you, Prince. Kadir. He bites his tongue and struggles to collect himself. I rarely see him lose his temper, at least where the Camarilla is involved. What's going on? I wonder about your suggestion for this role. After all, it's not particularly prestigious, but carries a lot of responsibility. We're still talking about Camarilla representative. Oh, I think there is a very obvious candidate. Both he and Kadir looks at me simultaneously. Everyone else in the room does, too. Now, wait a second. He can't possibly mean... Miss Julia. Once again, your full name eludes me at the moment. Am I allowed to speak? Or maybe I should wait for permission? Before I make up my mind, the sheriff sighs deeply and speaks up. Sovinsky. Miss Julia Sovinsky, right. I understand you used to be an investigative journalist before your embrace. That's correct. Among others, the Banu Hakim Primogen insisted that you are worthy of greater privileges and should be given a chance to prove yourself. Thomas, you're setting me up for death, aren't you? Samira measures Arturo with suspicion. Yes. Do you still think she's capable? She looks me deep in the eye. I swear she's telepathically trying to tell me, please, please, please don't fuck this up, you dumbass little white girl. Of course. Good, and I'm sure that you, Al-Asmai, have no problem with your protégé embarking on this mission, save for the pain a mother feels when watching her child leave the nest. Whether I do or don't is not particularly important right now, is it? It absolutely is. Panhard's backing of Arturo momentarily blindsides him. Prince Panhard, If Arturo's plan is reckless, I want you to tell me. I need a simple yes or no answer. Is the girl capable? Now he knows he's left with no choice. I wouldn't entrust her with all the responsibilities that I have if she wasn't. He exchanges glances with me, but his look is different than Samira's. It's as if he's trying to apologize to me. He knows Arturo is trying to set us up. God damn. Here we are then, a recommendation from the bandwagon Primogen and the sheriff. To tell you the truth, I was just throwing out ideas, but with this backing, I can't doubt the Night Clan's representative will get the job done. I'm certain each of us feels the same, Mr. Payne. The atmosphere in the room mostly suggests people are glad they don't have to discuss the topic further. A shrug here and averted gaze there. It is as you say. I will watch the way she handles the situation with great interest. Well then, Miss Savinsky, looks like you've got your chance for a big break. I should probably know my place. Yeah, just point me in the right direction and tell me what to do. No point in pretending I have a choice here, is there? Excellent! That leaves us with only one more matter, which I hope we can agree on. Prince Panhard signals someone with their hands. The figure emerges from behind the corner. Good evening. Catherine, with a pleasant surprise. Nobody informed us you are in town. Addison, looking healthier than ever. And what does this have to do with it? We need an impartial observer who everyone respects. And as it happens, Catherine always knew how to make friends on both sides without angering either. I beg to differ. I'd be grateful if, just for once, you decided against throwing a tantrum about me, High Regent. A painful grimace crosses Ashling's face, but she is quick to interpret the taunt as an invitation to a game she can't possibly win. As long as she can prove herself useful to the proceedings in some way. If half of what I heard about her from Mr. van der Weyden is true, she should be able to. And what did poor Carter say about me this time? Nothing specific. One always has to read between the lines with him, but it was mostly envy. Ms. Weiss gracefully agreed to mediate between the Anarch representative and the La Sombra representative, ensuring mutual cooperation and mitigating potential conflicts. That felt like a Freudian slip. La Sombra representative, not Camarilla representative. Someone who can be catapulted from the sect without much damage to the ivory tower if they mess up. Is there a meeting set up? Arturo looks at the clock on the other side of the room. In less than an hour? You'd better hurry then. What the hell? All of this is happening so fast. If the situation is indeed under control, I will drive her and oversee the situation. Out of question. You've got your orders, Sheriff. Attend to those. You fool. The girl needs guidance. And we need yours. Nobody knows what might happen next. But it's not as if the Anarchs have a lot of love for you, Alasmai. You're too efficient in your duties for them to tolerate you. Better spare Miss Savinsky having them see you two together. Do you think my guidance of Yulia would be lacking, Kadir? I never said that. So, do you have any objections to putting her under my care? He lowers his gaze, but seems reassured. None whatsoever. That's all I needed to hear. We'll be going then. Wasting no time as usual, I see. Have you at least tried the aperitifs? Waiting is an old person's game, Helen. I still feel young. Remember, if there's anything you need help with. Probably not, but I appreciate the thought nevertheless. Have a great night, everyone. I'll catch up with you later, Addison. Certainly hope you do. And so we leave. In a rush. Funny, considering what she told me about being in a hurry yesterday. And as we leave, I'm going to leave the next part of that to the next episode. We are being taken under wing of a Catherine the Wise, or Catherine Weiss, as she calls herself nowadays. I feel like she's almost as cool as Kadir, so that's going to be fun. Let's see you in another one. Don't get lost in the night.